and welcome to TCT Talks. My name is Rachel Greenwood. I'm Head of Digital Supply Chain here at the Config team, and I'm here with my colleague Adam today.
Yep, I'm Adam Wilson. I'm the Logistics Team Lead for the Digital Supply Chain practice.
So we're going to be talking about logistics and SAP today, common challenges, pain points, and how we at the Config team might be able to help you. So Adam, when we say logistics in the SAP world, what are we talking about exactly?
So when we talk about logistics, we typically talk about the movement of product through a company's supply chain. So, and again, typically you don't see that one company just has one warehouse. So, you know, we're always seeing that a company may have a local, a regional, a national, maybe distribution center as well. So, for us, we work with our clients to map not only their warehouses, but also the processes within the warehouses and also the movements between. So that's what we mean by logistics in the supply chain.
And what do you enjoy about working in SAP Logistics? So
I think for me, it's the impact that a particular solution has on a particular client or a particular group of users. I feel like it's really nice to see something that you've configured working in real life. And for me, I think logistics, and in particular warehousing as well, is that it's something you can actually see and touch. You can see these physical elements of what you built or mapped in a system. You can actually see all of that working. And like I say, you can also see then the impact that has on the client and the users themselves. You know, whether we've streamlined their business operations so much so that they're making a huge operational efficiencies, or we're just putting in our pre-built solution and we're seeing the joy that brings to people actually having to interact with something that has a really nice kind of user interface. So I think for me, it's just the impact on the people that a particular solution that you implement has.
And so what are some of the big trends that we're seeing in logistics today? What are our customers asking for?
So what we're seeing at the moment is we're seeing lots of requests for user interface, especially in mobile. So what we can do for our clients around mobile solutions. What we're seeing quite a lot of as well is integration with external systems. So we do a lot of work with 3PLs, 4PLs in some instances. And we see a lot of automation coming in as well.
Adam, you've been working in SAP Logistics for over 25 years now. What are the big changes you've seen during that time?
So a lot of changes, obviously, with the advent of the much more advanced functionality within SAP. So 25 years ago, warehousing and logistics was very, very basic. There wasn't really a mobile solution to speak of back then, so there was always an integration with a third party for that. So obviously we've seen a lot of advances in the mobile area of logistics, but also, and again, obviously from the very basic WM to what we're seeing today with all of the advanced kind of functionality that you see in EWM. There's a lot more stuff that you can do, obviously, within EWM as standard, which has helped reduce the amount of developments that you would have ordinarily needed with a more basic solution like WM or IM. So yeah, it's just really that we've seen a lot of this rich functionality that's being introduced into SAP, which is obviously great for a consultant because we have much more ways to configure a solution rather than maybe look to develop a solution.
And how would you say customers' expectations have changed over that time?
So I think that especially since the years of COVID, I think it's become more important for companies to position the logistics function within their business a lot more strategically. You know, companies want to know where the pain points are in their supply chain. They need to know how they can supply certain regions or indeed fulfill certain warehouses in certain regions better and more efficiently.
Okay, and so a lot of change over that period. How do you think that change has impacted how we approach our logistics projects today here at the Config team?
Yeah, so we absolutely have to take a more strategic approach to the projects today. We can't just look at if a client comes to us to say, can you please look at this warehouse or these group of warehouses in a particular area. We really want to look at future-proofing a solution. So we do initially look at building blocks or how far we can get with a particular solution now, but also the potential to build on that in the future as well. So just a much more strategic outlook to the way that we approach the projects, really. So we also have to take a much more cross-functional approach to these projects as well, that we're seeing more and more, particularly where a company is maybe transitioning from SAP ECC to S/4HANA. We have to be very mindful of where logistics sits within the business suite and how it interacts with other modules of the business.
So Adam, what would you say makes a great logistics consultant today?
So a great logistics consultant today has a real deep understanding of SAP functionality. So not only how a warehouse can be configured and all of the available functionality that you can configure for a warehouse, but also what you may need to do within the SAP supply chain for a company as well, and all of the integration points that we talked about earlier, I think, with all of the other SAP modules. A good operational understanding as well. I think you have to have the experience and the knowledge of how, let's say, a goods receipt process may work or a picking process may work. But I think also that we don't want to be the consultancy that always goes from client to client, implementing the solution that we always implement, or the solution that we implemented on the last client. You really have to listen to what the client wants. You don't really want to push a solution on a client just because it was an easy solution for you, because that's what, like I say, that's what you did on a previous project. I think you have to really kind of have an empathy for the client to understand, what it really is what they need, what are their pain points, what would really benefit them from a logistics perspective. So I think there are some scenarios where we don't necessarily just want to give the client what they want. I think there are times where we need to be that trusted advisor, and we should be challenging them on some of their requirements. I think, as that trusted advisor, we do know a lot of the best practices that should be applied to certain solutions, and so the consultant really needs to be mindful of yes, listen to what the client wants, but be able to maybe obviously advise, but challenge, but give them a solution that absolutely meets their requirements.
So Adam, you and I are recently back from Sapphire at Madrid. What do you think is next for SAP Logistics, and how should businesses be preparing for that? So
it's quite clear, obviously, from Sapphire that cloud is going to be huge. Obviously, cloud-based logistics for us.
Yeah.
So public cloud WM was quite a big talking point at Sapphire. I think predictive analytics there was a lot of discussion around predictive analytics and AI, obviously. Yeah. There was also lots of talk about the new SAP Business Suite. So obviously a lot of people that will listen to this will be thinking to themselves, well, actually it was originally Business Suite at one time, and now we've come full circle to Business Suite. But SAP were kind of putting their own spin on it and saying we're now best of breed in suite. So I think there's a lot of the terminology that not only ourselves need to get our head around. So I think even since Sapphire, there's been a change in terminology from the RISE path to Business Suite, which is now going to be SAP Cloud ERP Private Edition, and grow as well. So I think it's important for us to help our clients and future customers understand that terminology, but maybe more importantly, to help guide them through the process of how they get the best out of their SAP solution.
Okay, so Adam, we've covered a lot there, and there's a lot to take in. If you had to leave our listeners and viewers with one key takeaway about SAP Logistics today, what would that be?
So I think we understand that getting your SAP Logistics right is a real strategic advantage, but we also understand that it's a balance between that, your SAP roadmap, and also getting the solution that you want to work for you now, getting those operational efficiencies, getting those operational savings in the warehouse and in your supply chain. I think that's what we do really, really well. We do the advisory piece, we can do that road mapping with clients, and we can obviously exceed expectations when it comes to implementation.
Okay, thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this TCT talk. Remember to subscribe and like and share with your colleagues, and if we can be of any help, please just reach out.